letting me join you here, actually, at the Frederique Concept booth at the 2019 Basel Fair. Have you had a sausage yet?
No, I ate it.
Okay. He just paid 29 Swiss francs for a sausage.
Well, and was it good?
It's the usual.
So bad.
What distinguishes that sausage from the sausage that's sold outside? It's just the plating and the salad.
The difference would be 21 francs.
but what do you attribute that to?
Because it comes with a little bit of fried onions and some root vegetables.
I see.
About it, yeah.
Okay. But it was tasty, or?
No.
No. Okay.
That's horrible.
Anytime you get ripped off.
No, because the sausages are people don't realize the sausages are $8.50. But that's if you want to stand in the cold, right? But if you go into the Baselworld restaurant, it's 30, the exact same sausage, it's 30 Swiss francs.
29.50.
Crazy.
29.50.
No way.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. It's barely cooked or baked. So
Yeah,
you
exactly.
almost eat it raw.
Yeah. Emma, that's precisely it.
And then the day after, everybody asks, shit, why I'm sick, you know? It's because of that raw sausage.
Okay, so on a brighter note, let's talk about, one of the things that you guys do that no one else, or almost no one else in the industry does, is a connected watch. Or a smartwatch. Tell us a little bit about that, because you were mentioning 4 years ago when you and Peter Stas launched this, you were saying, okay, now the rest of the industry is going to follow, but in fact, no one has.
No, I'll be very frank, it's a little bit pathetic, but we're still the only one.
Yeah.
After 4 years. And how I see it, it's not the truth, of course, but I think there are two explanations for many brands. One, they convince themselves that they should not go in that. And the other one, they simply can't.
Okay.
Because it is very complex. It's really complex. We started 4 years ago. My explanation is you need a Silicon Valley partner.
Right. Can I grab one of these?
Yeah, sure. You need a Silicon Valley partner to bridge with two platforms.
Who was your partner?
In that time, it was.
Thank you.
In that time, help me a little bit. We have now the spin-off with MMT, where Peter is still the owner.
Oh, okay.
And in that time, it was Full Power. Full Power was helping us. So we have a unique source code with MMT, with the smartwatches. If you look at the competition, it's Fossil who's doing that. It's iOS with iPhone doing it. It's Fitbit who's doing it, and then you start to lose it.
Okay.
So that makes us unique. We have all in-house with the smartwatch. Now, combine two platforms, iOS, Android. Combine minimum 2 languages, 100 devices, over-the-air updates, because that needs to be done.
Right.
Minimum once in 3 months. That adds up to 3,000 complexities.
Okay.
If any Swiss brand thinks he can manage that, I will tell them it's very difficult.
Okay. So you sell this pretty well then?
Yeah, so to tell you openly, this one is sold 2,500 pieces, a hybrid last year.
Yeah.
So, but, I have to say there's a but, it needs extra attention.
Okay.
It's a watch where we create demand.
Oh, Peter, how are you? Come in.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
How are
sure.
you? Lovely to
How are
see
you?
Very well, thank
Be
you.
careful with your hands.
No problem. Would you like to join
Not
us?
my typical hard hand.
Hi, Peter. Please, come and join us.
Next to
Yeah, come here. No,
next to the new boss.
I'll sit here. We were talking about the
Smartwatches.
Smartwatches.
Oh yeah. Then
And maybe
I arrived at the good moment,
Yeah,
right?
It's the right.
I was just explaining still MMT, the spin-off, and also the uniqueness of MMT. What we have with the watches, that if you look at the uniqueness with the source code, with the cloud solutions, with the app solutions, we are one of the 4 big players who can play with that. You have Fitbit, you have Fossil, you have of course the iPhone, and you have us. And then we came to the conclusion with, he asked about the hybrid, how we did.
Okay. How do you feel about sort of the slightly higher, well, I would say sort of middle luxury players like a Tag Heuer or even Louis Vuitton coming into there and using sort of the Android based thing? Because they just launched a watch, for example, that's meant to be a golf watch, and in that watch there's an app that allows you to sort of navigate 99% of the golf courses in the world. Apparently, will tell you the distance to each hole, will tell you, windage, all that kind of thing. Do you feel that that's the future, or do you feel your watches in general are more classic in appearance, right? But have also an additional smart function?
I would say for us, for TAG, being in sports, that works very well together. What I don't like about it is that still it's an Android watch, and this type of apps are quite widely available now via Google Play, and you still have a black box.
That's very true, actually. It's a black box. Yeah.
We really set out in 2014 to start with smartwatches that look like real watches, because we still believe that our strength is really to create beautiful watch designs and then add functionality.
Okay.
So
what is the architecture of one of your watches? Is there, how much of it, there's a largely mechanical component, yes, and then there's a hybrid part of the watch that is used for all the smart functions?
Well, there are two versions. We have the electronic version. That's the one we started, we launched in 2015, and we're now around 70,000 pieces per year on that.
Wow. Okay.
And then last year we introduced also a mechanical piece with an electronic layer just below the dial. So that's the architecture there. But a lot of the components there are similar to what's in the electronic one. So we do also step counting, sleep analysis. Then the whole app platform is there to get a lot of insights based on AI. So we have these two options. The hybrid is still smaller quantities. We sold about 5,000-6,000 pieces last year.
Is the price differential greater? Or?
Of course, that's you're about 4,000 here versus the 1,000, the 800 to 1,000 for the electronic. So you can clearly see that's hampering rapid growth, which is normal.
Right.
Also, it's actually in terms of other mechanical manufacturer watches, it's quite comparable.
Understood.
So it fits into the rest of the range in terms of quantities.
Forgive my ignorance, but I've never actually sort of played with one of your smartwatches before. So how do you read the information if it's a classic looking watch?
So we display, if you take that one on the top counter, on the app you can say what you want to display. So in my case it's a step goal towards 10,000 steps. Okay. So I'm now like say 37, 38%. Okay. But the day is not over yet. We're walking here in the stand.
Will you be doing a lot more walking towards the end of the day? Let's have a walking idea.
So, but you can have a second time zone, you can put your sleep percentage there, you can put a workout timer there, okay. So there are all kinds of, so that's one, and then of course in the app you get much deeper insights. Okay. Cool.
GMT, very important.
Yeah, GMT functions, world time functions.
That's a very big used functionality of the top.
One of the questions that we were discussing before you joined us was the integration or perhaps the separation between Frederique and also the prevailing citizen group. What do you see are the synergies, and what do you see are the things that need to be sort of kept separate?
So, well, we're 3 years on since the takeover, of course. Important part is that Niels now is running the day-to-day show. I have stepped a little bit back, more on the strategic side. Citizen itself, as a shareholder, keeps us separate. And they let us set the business strategy. There's only one Japanese person in Geneva, and who's mostly for communication and not really involved in the business too much. So what they promised at the time, to let the company continue independently, they've really kept their word on that. Great. Then the synergies have been on the distribution side. For example, Japan, of course, where they're strong.
I would imagine, yes.
US, UK, Italy, China now, where we were struggling a little bit with our distributor, and they have a very strong system on place. Right. And then on the financing side, on that part, we also see, of course, the support of a stock listed company.
Very cool. And what are the highlights of this year for Basel Fair?
So you presented already some of that.
No, we were still.
We were just talking about smartwatches.
Yeah, exactly.
So I let Niels then maybe present the Power Reserve. So because that's definitely a highlight of this year, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what we do for Alpina, which is in more the smartwatch area.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the power reserve. So we did the press conference today.
Those are yours, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What we managed here is we wanted to have a power reserve indicator. I will show you on the camera. Actually, I'll show you a few pieces. Here it's a 40mm case with a power indicator, power reserve indicator. We used in 2015 introduced 703 base movement, the smaller movement. We mainly before had the movement for 42mm case, and we reduced the conception for smaller cases. So we took that as a base. In this movement, the challenge was actually to add the module of the power reserve indicator, 14 components.
Right.
If you add that, you jeopardize the dimensions, and this we didn't want. So we integrated in the main plate. That was one of the challenges. At the same time, we asked the conception team really, hey, improve also the power reserve.
Okay.
But you're not allowed to increase the barrel because the barrel also already has the size that needs to be
Correct. So you managed to make it to 50 hours now.
Yeah. So what they did is they had a longer mainspring,
Okay.
but slimmer that fits still in the barrel.
Cool.
And then they can increase 20% the power reserve.
Nice. And what would the price of such a timepiece be?
2,295.
Cool.
So comparable with competition, we are really again accessible.
Of course.
And the last thing what I would like to mention on this one, what we always aim to do is we start with the design of the dial
Oh, okay.
to keep it balanced in the case, and then really build the conception movement of that.
Very nice.
That's where you always see a very well balanced dial.
Excellent.
This one is the deep blue.
The blue's quite cool.
It's my favorite.
Yes. You need the blue?
And the gray is all well accepted. And here you have, you want to see it, Bruce? Sure. The rose gold. Where's still another one, the silver? Yeah. This one is typically where we always have the DNA of the brand.
Right.
Silver, steel with the Roman index and also with the gold plated.
Cool.
Always good in the results and sales.
Very nice. Thank you.
So this is very watchmaking driven.
Okay.
For us, very important. Then on top of that, we have also thought about the ladies. Cannot forget them.
Okay.
Art Deco, for a long time very successful. This time we have created 4 variations here, deep blue dials. A few years ago the blue dial started really to show off in success, many requests. It still continues very strong in results, so we added here variations. And the strength of this design is really, you have the coined case, makes it very classic in a way, but still fashionable and elegant. And the curved dial, but in some extent it's very difficult because it's mother of pearl.
Oh wow, okay.
With diamonds on the dial, and that's for a price of $11.95.
I'm sorry, how much?
$11.95,
Right.
so it's very accessible also. Yeah.
Here's something.
And we have several variations here with the steel, you see it here, cleaner dial, and also in the bicolor variations. As you can see.
Oh, okay. It's quite striking in blue, actually. It's a nice sort of combination between the central guilloche pattern and the others.
Yeah.